Thank you for watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. I'm Troy West, and thank you for joining me once again for another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 104, and today's date is April 11th, 2019. This is the NBA Playoffs preview special, and I want to say thank you once again for joining me. We're going to talk about the NBA Playoffs. All those matchups are set now, even though some took until last night to get set. We'll break down every series from the first round all the way to the NBA Finals, so I think we'll make it there. We also just talk about some 3 days off the court. You heard about Magic Johnson stepping down as the Lakers. I touch on that. Matter of fact, I talk about that first. Like I said, I talked about the Lakers last week. It was a shock to me that he walked. At least this series, I thought he probably would wait till. I don't know. I thought he would at least give it almost another year, or if things start off bad next year. But Magic felt like he was being trapped. He felt, he had to be somebody that he wasn't, and that's sort of understandable. But it was sort of a shock. So that's the biggest news off the court. But we're gonna mainly talk about the playoffs. Break down every matchup round by round. Of course, the next rounds after the first round, of course, is my predictions, but if I'm wrong, of course the matchups will be different. But I feel mainly confident about all the decisions that I made. The only thing I feel a little bit slighted on is Milwaukee and Boston, which I will get into that coming up soon. So of course you got the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. So basically I'm gonna go back and forth and just do it round by round. I'm not going to do the whole conference, then do the whole other conference, but go first round, the second, the conference semifinals, the conference finals, then finals, of course. And that's how I'm going to do it today. I also got a big announcement at the end of the video, so if you want to skip ahead to see what that is, you can, or just be patient and wait. If you want to still check out the rest of the blog, that's fine. But it's a big announcement, so stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and get started. First round matchup. Let's start the Eastern Conference. The East, pretty much, you got your top four contenders: Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, and Raptors. Everybody else, even Indiana, even though they pretty much played well all year long. But I think them being a lack of really a go-to player is going to hurt the Pacers. Nets made it. They had a 6 seed. 7 seed was the Orlando Magic. I was wrong about them. Way wrong about the Magic. Probably the East, that's probably the biggest miss that I missed. And Detroit, I had them being a contender for a playoff spot anyway. They snuck in last night. As Miami was eliminated, I think, the night before, and Charlotte was eliminated last night. Due to the Pistons win. But like I said, let's start with the Pistons and the Bucks. That's the 8-1 matchup. Bucks, of course, the number 1 seed, best record in basketball, period. So they got home court throughout, even if they make it to the finals. I got the Bucks sweeping the Pistons. I don't see Detroit competing in this series. Haven't seen any Pistons games this year. I admit that. But just to keep up with Blake Griffin, of course, who missed last night's game because of a knee injury, so he's a little nicked up. But I think he's the pretty much only hope. He would have to have a monster series, probably average like 40 per, like had to carry the Pistons on his back. Probably just to get it to a 7th game, but I don't see that happening. I think the Bucks are just head and shoulders above them. And now they have a little playoff experience as well. Last year, with a 7-game series they had with Boston, so I think the Bucks will be fine. I think they'll sweep the Pistons. Probably the games in Detroit will probably be a little bit more competitive. But I don't see Detroit challenging at all. I think Milwaukee will definitely move on to the next round. So who would they face? We got Boston and Indiana right here. It's the 4-5. Boston is the 4. The Celtics and the Pacers are the 5th seed. This is the Pacers. Like I said, I give them credit. I thought they was going to fall Maybe, like I said, I thought they would still make the playoffs, but once Oladipo went down, I had a different look about them. I had a different attitude about them. But I haven't seen them a lot this year either. Probably seen them about once or twice or a glance. Got a lot of good nucleus of players, which is, if you look at some of these teams in the playoffs, like the Pacers, the Nets, you could say, more of a team-based team. The Magic, there's nobody stands out there. The Nuggets, from the West, the Clippers, but everybody else, they ran about there's a clear star on the team. But those teams in particular, there's no clear star. But to get to this series, I think the Celtics I picked them. They was my preseason pick to make the finals, and you're gonna find out if I'm still gonna stick with that. But I think they win this series. I think they beat the Pacers in about 6 games. I think Boston is a deeper team anyway, and I think they sort of was bored too throughout the season. I think that's why they had their ups and downs. I mean, they had their issues, just pure basketball with getting Gordon Hayward back to the swing of things and things like that. But I think it's more they was just their goal is definitely get to the finals. I think if they don't, I think it's a failure for them. Marcus Smart a little banged up. I think they say he might miss the first 2 series for Boston. So I think that is a big loss, but I think it will affect them in this series. I think they were able to beat the Pacers. I think the Pacers just to be a little bit out their league. But they had a wonderful season. Hopefully Oladipo will come back healthy, but I think the Celtics will move on and win this in 6 games. Sixers and Nets, that's the 3-6 matchup. Philadelphia, another team sort of up and down, but mostly up, won over 50 games. Embiid, had a monster season. Ben Simmons played pretty well this year. They picked up Tobias Harris at the trade deadline. Jimmy Butler, of course, in the beginning of the season. So they deep. Could make some noise, like I said. Only thing I worry about Philadelphia, which I've said throughout the years, they find a shooter. Of course, they got Reddick, but other than him, because we had somebody consistently shoot from the outside, and like I said, of course, a lot of criticism go to Ben Simmons on that, but I think if you put it around, I think he's another young LeBron. Just put some shooters around him, he'll find them, and then he'll drive to the hole when he has to. That's how he score his points. The Brooklyn Nets, still a little bit of surprise. D'Angelo Russell had a monster year. What's the guy? Joe Harris, I think is his name. Won the 3-point contest. He shoots. That's just a bunch of good guys on the team. Bunch of guys that know their roles. Only 142 games, but still nobody expected them to get this far. So all the way to a 6th seed in the East. I didn't. I don't even think I had them making the playoffs. Just to be sure, I did not. Had them finish it in the bottom half. So they surprised me this year. But I think the Sixers are supposed to be too much. I think the Sixers will win this series kind of easy. I think they win in about 5 games. I think the Nets just don't have enough. I think Embiid will, first of all, he'll be playing more. I think this is a time for Jimmy Butler to step up. So I just think they'd be too much for the Nets. I think they might get a game, maybe at home. But then Philadelphia, it'd be like a they call it a gentleman sweep, a 5-game series. I think the Sixers will move on. And to stay in the East, the final matchup in the first round, the Toronto Raptors, number 2 seed against the 7th seed Orlando Magic, which is, like I said, one of my hugest surprises. Had the Magic finish basically last in the East. So for them to make the playoffs at all, big credit to the coaching staff out there. I don't know the coach that I know. I just read his name, but he had to do a great job. I barely could name 3 Magic players. I know Aaron Gordon because he was in the dunk contest, but he's a good player. He's not just a dunker. The rookie Mo Bamba. I think it's Jared Payton. I think he's the point guard. Other than that, it's hard for me to name anybody else. So that's why I mentioned them when I said it's team basketball, but even though I named those guys, none of those guys stand out as your go-to scorer. As far as the Raptors, not surprised here. I probably hit them right on the nose. I said they'd be about 2nd in the East, and that's where they finished. Kawhi Leonard, like I said, at the end of the year, there was rumors, well, he might really leave. He's not motivated, blah, blah, blah. But he still had a monster year. Thought he would win MVP, but now, of course, he's not going to win. It's going to be either Giannis or James Harden. But I think the Raptors will win this series easily. They made some moves. Marc Gasol coming over in the trade deadline. They're a much deeper team. Kyle Lowry, even though he has issues in the playoffs, he's still a good player. He's going to show up. I think they won't have no problems with the Magic. Maybe, like I said, maybe the Magic get a game. Get them out of respect. I'm getting the Magic a game. Maybe they win one at home. I think the Raptors will win this series at 5 games. So pretty much the only long series I got in the first round of the East is the Boston Celtics and Indiana Pacers series, and that could be a shorter series as well. So the Eastern Conference, everybody just waiting for the conference semis, which is set. So I got Boston making it going against the Milwaukee Bucks, and it'll be the Raptors and the Sixers in the Eastern Conference semifinals. But let's stay in the first round. Let's go out west. Warriors, despite all the issues they had this year, they the #1 seed. They get the LA Clippers in the first round. Another team that surprised me this year. I didn't think they was going to make the playoffs. Let me just be sure exactly what I had them. About 12th. Just like I had the Nets. I had the Nets 12th. So that's about, halfway down the line. And Doc Rivers, of course, he's getting a lot of credit, and he should. They traded away Tobias Harris, what I said, to the Sixers. So people thought, okay, they, not tanking, but, just, well, if we make the playoffs, so what? If not, it'd be beneficial for us because they might get Kawhi Leonard. I mean, that's the biggest player that's been rumored to go to them. And the Clippers got a good organization with, of course, with Rivers, Louis Frank, the great Jerry West as well. And Steve Ballmer is not afraid to put his money up. So Clippers, you got to say this decade almost was about to be 2020. You got to say the Clippers, probably for the first time in a 10-year span, has outperformed the Lakers. Even though the Lakers, I think, still within this, I think in 2010 was their last championship, I believe. So if they, maybe, and I guess you got to, people probably still say the Lakers because of that, but the Lakers ain't been in the playoffs 6 straight years. The Clippers has, especially this year. Got to get the Clippers credit, and I can't name too many guys on their team either. All credit to the Clippers, but I think they're gonna get a wake-up call. I think the Warriors are going to be motivated. I think whenever they get any type of adversity in this series, which could be the first game, could be the second game, they're gonna just annihilate the Clippers. I got the Warriors sweeping this series in 4 games and moving on. I don't think this is going to be a lost series at all. Be shocked if the Clippers win a game in this series. Let's go to the 4-5 matchup. This is an interesting series. The Houston Rockets and the Utah Jazz. Having pitchers will be probably the best series of the first round. Of course, my man Donovan Mitchell for the Jazz. Young player, I like him. Think he's going to be a future superstar in this league. But James Harden is now. He's the superstar right now. He's carried the Rockets to this point, almost all the way to the 2nd seed, but they got all the way to 4th. Which I don't think they mind. I mean, they're not afraid of the Warriors. So I don't think they was trying to avoid them anyway. So I guess they just play the Jazz in this first round, and they probably we'll see the Warriors in my opinion. I think they'll win this series in 6 games. I think James Harden will continue to do what he do. Chris Paul is back. He's been slowly coming back, as I've seen. Like I said, Houston got the right team around him. Like a bunch of, a couple of shooters. Clint Capella makes some ratchet in the middle. I think they got Nene too. So Kenneth Faried, I think they picked up. So they got some big guys that can run the floor. So Houston, very formidable. Got off to a slow start, for the season. Probably would have been a 2nd seed for sure. But 4th seed's not bad. I think they win this series in 6 games. But I kind of hope the Jazz push them a little bit because, like I said, I like Donovan Mitchell. And Rudy Gobert ain't no joke. So, and the game do slow down the playoffs. So I think it's going to be, it's possibly could go 7 games, but I think the Houston will win it in 6 and move on. 3-6 matchup. This is an interesting series as well. The Portland Trail Blazers at the 3 seed against the 6 seeded Oklahoma City Thunder. And I guess this would be the first upset in the playoffs if you want to go by the seeding. Blazers do come in with some injuries, of course, with Nurkic in the middle going down a few weeks ago. But they bench is also just thin anyway. Like I said, I just think they're not a good playoff team because I think Damian Lillard had to do too much. Him and McCollum for us currently the score low. I just don't think the other guys around them can make up the difference. And I think it will matter in this series. I think the Thunder will win this series at 6. I think Russell Westbrook is the new season of him. He's going to be motivated to prove a point. Paul George was pretty much in the MVP construction most of the year. Through the last few months, he's tailed off. They say he's been a little nicked up. I think he'll show up. Steven Adams, to me, is going to be the key. I think he's going to dominate this series with Nurkic being out. So I think he'll be the X factor in this series for the Thunder. And I think this will be a 6-game series. So the 6th seed will be the 3. I think the Thunder will move on to the conference semifinals. And this series is also kind of interesting. 2-7 matchup. The Denver Nuggets, which I did have making it probably not this high as a seed, but I had them making the playoffs against the San Antonio Spurs, which I doubted. Just like the Patriots, this team just don't go away. No matter who they have on the team, no matter what changes they make, they always competing in some type of capacity. So if that being said, I think this is probably going to be a 7-game series for sure. I think the Nuggets going to struggle a little bit. Nuggets not a lot of experience. Just like the Magic, just like the other teams with this good team, you know, the top 10 guys are decent guys. But the Joker, he's in the discussion. He's right below tier of a superstar because of what he does. I think he'll be the difference in this series. Spurs, of course, LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. Not a lot of good history in the playoffs, especially when it counts. But you know, the Spurs are just to be prepared. They're not going to beat themselves. I think they're going to be very pesky for the Nuggets. I think they're going to get the Nuggets surprised. I think Greg Popovich will be prepared. I got this series going 7, but I still got the Nuggets pulling it out and avoid the upset. I think they'd beat the Spurs, but I think it will go 7 games. Okay, so we're done with the first round. Let's go to the second round. Let's go to the conference semis, and we might as well stay out west. So my predictions, I got the Warriors meeting up with the Rockets in the second round, and the other series in the west, the Thunder and the Nuggets. Let's start with the Warriors and Rockets. Warriors 1 seed, 4th seed Rockets. This is going to be a heck of a series. I think the Warriors will win it at 6. I think by this time, James Harden will be tired out. He'll probably be averaging 50 points a game or whatever, but I think he's going to have one of those games where he just can't hit a shot. I think he's going to be a spinner. I think he's going to spend a lot of energy in that Jazz series as well, because the Jazz is a good defensive team. I think he's going to wear it down once again. Can Chris Paul or somebody pick up the slack? We'll see. But I think, like I said, the Warriors, like I said, they're going to lose a game in this series. I think that's when they're going to turn it up to another level that you didn't think they had. And it's going to look like you're going to start to see, okay, this is a championship team here. I think you're going to see it in this series. I think the Warriors win this series at 6 games. And the other conference semifinal in the West, the Thunder and the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets experience will catch up to them in this series. I think it'll be a long series. This might even go 7 games, but I think the Thunder will get by. We'll get to the Western Conference Finals. I think they'll beat the Nuggets in 6 games. I think Russell Westbrook and Paul George will be too much for the Nuggets. I think Jokic will do what he can, but I think he'll be neutralized by Adams, and so he'll have to work. I think that's going to affect this series. So I got the Thunder as a 6th seed getting all the way to the Western Finals and beating the Nuggets in 6 games. Let's go back east. Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics 1-4 matchup. Now this is I was fighting with myself because I know what I picked in the preseason. I always try to stick with what I've done. A little bit stubborn when it comes to my picks, but I am going to switch this here. and I'm just so not sure about this series. This series could go either way. So I'm picking a 7-game series for the Bucks, and they will win it. I think Giannis will finally come out. Like, we'll rarely finally say he arrived. They can have a monster series. They can be the difference. They Kyrie will have his moments. This whole team, you know, will have his moments. I think it's going to be a war, but I think the Bucks will come out on top at the end of the day. Just hard for me to go with the Celtics, just the way they look this year. Even though I think, like I said, I think it's a motivation factor into this thing, but I just think the Bucks will be a little bit too much, and I think they'll win it in 7 games. So that means my preseason pick is switched. So I'm going with the Bucks now. Well, I'm not going with the Celtics to come out the East like I did in the preseason. Sixers and Raptors. Very interesting series. I can see the Sixers winning this series, but I just can't. Over the Raptors, I just think the Raptors will be a little bit better defensively. Embiid, well, like I said, we'll have some pro. Marcus Gasol ain't no slouch. I think that'll be a good matchup. Kawhi Leonard will probably be on Jimmy Butler most of the time. So that means, like I said, this is going to be a series they're going to have to shoot and hit threes. I don't think they'll be able to do it. And I think the Raptors will walk on to the Eastern Conference Finals in 6 games. I got to win it in 6 games. So my Conference Finals matchups. In the East, I got the Milwaukee Bucks against the Toronto Raptors. I got the Golden State Warriors against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's stay in the East and move on. Bucks Raptors. Like I said, I think the Bucks is just as good defensively as Toronto is. I think Giannis and Kawhi Leonard, that'd be a good matchup to see in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it'd be an entertaining series. I think the Bucks, though, will prevail. I just think the Raptors, I don't know. I mean, like I said, you can argue for the Raptors to win this series, but I think Giannis, like I said, is going to rise, and he's going to control this Eastern Conference playoffs. And I think he'll control this series as well. I think not even Kawhi can check him every single time. And I think the Bucks shooting has improved enough that I believe in him, because that was my issue with the Bucks. And that's why I had them only finish at 4th in the conference. They finished first, of course. Finished first in the league. And I think they'll show the Raptors why they was really the 1 seed. And Giannis will shine through. And I think the Bucks will win this series in 6 games and move on to their first NBA Finals since, I want to say, 1975, 76 or something in that area. Of course, with known as hey, what was his name? His original name, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I want to say Lou Alcindor. I might be wrong about that. I should know, but anyway, that's the last time the Bucks been to the finals, which was a long time ago, before I was born, before anybody that's probably watching this was born. So I got the Bucks coming out the East. And out West, Thunder Warriors. I think this would be an emotional series, but I think the Warriors will show who's boss. Kevin Durant probably be averaging 30, 40 points easily. Not at this point. Him and Westbrook, I mean, I think that's sort of squashed, though, that element. And I think it'd be emotional for the fans, you know, actually playing them in the playoff series. I think it'll happen in the Western Finals. I think the Warriors, though, will win it in 6 games. I think this with the Thunder's then bench and then team will show. It'd be too much for Paul George and Russell Westbrook just to compete with the Warriors. I think the Warriors would just be too much. So I think they'll win it in 6 games and move on to the 5th straight NBA Finals. Wow, 5 straight NBA Finals. That'd be, like I said, LeBron got to 8, but that'd still be accomplished for the Warriors as an organization. And it'd be 3 straight for Durant and 5 straight for everybody else. Draymond, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. So that means we got the finals here. The Milwaukee Bucks against the Golden State Warriors. So that means both top seeds will make it, in my opinion. Bucks, this is where the Buck stops here. No, well, yes, pun intended. I ain't gonna say it's no pun intended. But I think the Warriors will just be too explosive. I don't think the Milwaukee will be able to hang with them. I think Giannis will still have a monster series. I think him and Durant, that'll be a good finals matchup. I think he might can slow Durant down a little bit, but I think Durant will eventually wear him down in scores when he need to score. I think this will be a big series for Steph Curry as well, and Klay Thompson and the guards. And I think they just be a better shooting team, and they'll win the series in 6. I got the Warriors winning their 3rd straight NBA Finals and 4th and 5th years, as they will beat the Milwaukee Bucks in 6 games in the NBA Finals. So that's all for my predictions. Like I said, I had the Warriors winning the championship in the preseason, so that didn't change. But I did switch my Celtics pick to the Bucks. So now I think the Bucks will come out the East. And that's just a little look back at the preseason. I got my preseason notes right here. Like I said, as far as playoff teams, the West almost every team. I only missed 2 teams, the Lakers and the Pelicans I had in. I didn't have the Spurs and the Clippers in, but I had all the rest of the teams right. And I almost had the seedings pretty much right as well. Nuggets, though, I had 7th seed. They had 2, of course. In the East, I had the top 4 right, pretty much. Just had to basically just switch the Celtics for the Bucks. The Celtics are 1 on my preseason list. Bucks are 4th, just flipped them. Pacers 5, so I had the first 5 pretty much right. Heat, Hornets, and Wizards, of course, didn't make it. We had Nets, Magic, and Pistons. I had the Pistons 10th, I had the Nets 12th, I had the Magic 14th, which was nearly last in the Eastern Conference. So, wasn't too off with my predictions. But I said, the bottom of the East would be sort of unpredictable. But I didn't expect Atlanta. Orlando really came out of left field for me. The Nets, I didn't see that either, but, at least I had them finishing higher. Now, let's look at my preseason awards. MVP Kawhi Leonard, of course, I don't think that's going to happen, so I might going to be wrong about that. Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond Green, I don't think so. I don't think he will win it, but honestly, I can't come up with nobody else, because you don't really, Defensive Player of the Year is, I don't want to say fluky, but, it's usually a center that rebounds and blocks a lot of shots. Like, that's been the trend lately. So, but I just thought Draymond would win it. But Rookie of the Year, Luka Doncic for the Mavericks, that might happen. Even though Trae Young came on a little bit strong at the end of the year. But it's going to be between those 2 guys. And like I said, I had my Eastern Finals. I had Celtics, Raptors. I got Raptors and Bucks. Then now, and the Lakers, I had them in the Western Finals. They didn't make the playoffs, of course, at all. With all their drama. I still had the Warriors. I had the Warriors beat the Celtics in the finals. So, not too bad. My predictions didn't go too bad from preseason to now. But like I said, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys enjoy the playoffs. Alright, now to get to my big announcement. I said at the beginning of the blog, I had a big announcement to make. I'm gonna try to look in the camera right, because when I know my eyes be down because I be reading my notes. But now I don't need my notes anymore. So basically the announcement is this possibly might be my last vlog, might be one of my last videos, period. I'm gonna take I'm gonna step away for a while. The other times I stepped away from the channel, it it basically was sort of out of my control. I was either moving or I was staying in my family's house. I didn't have my own space, so I couldn't record like this. Now I have my own space here. I work for my sister. So I was able to get my own space again, so I started the blogs again. The last time I was on a break, it was because of my internet was out. Stuff like that. That's the only time I've ever missed a lot of time. But lately, like I said, the videos been getting less and less. And part of it is because I'm busy with work, and I was, things going on in my personal life. But honestly, to be honest with you guys, like I said, I've said it before. My motivation is dwindled. Just not with the channel, just with everything that's going on in my life. I think I need to just really get my mind together. The last few months has been, good and bad. Good in some ways, bad in others. I just feel like I'm losing everything. Losing people. Losing myself. So I think I just need to focus on things, other things, you know, get myself a little bit more happier in life. Because that's probably why my motivation's not there. I'm just not, honestly, I'm just not happy. I'm going to do a special video today. Actually, as soon as I finish this, I'm going to record a video, more personal video. I'm going to do it through my phone, and I'm going to put it up. Hopefully this will be already downloaded before I do that. But I'm going to get more into detail on that video, because I want to thank the people that did support me, even though I've been stuck on 54 subscribers probably for like 2-3 months now. I've been trying to push it out on social media. I was pushing it out. And some people, you know, did reach out and did support the channel, you know, for a little while. Then they sort of drilled away, you know. And then just days of my personal life affected my mind. So I haven't been posting videos that much. Part of it was because I was busy, but part of it was because I just wasn't motivated to do it. Or I'll be too tired, or like I said, I've been honest about my depression. My depression just makes me don't want to do anything, and that I need to focus on getting myself together mentally. So that's why I think that's why I decided to do this. I've been thinking about it for a while, actually, for the last few months, about taking a break. But I didn't want to do it because I do have people that was supporting the channel, but I don't feel that right now anymore, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm ungrateful or, you know, that nobody supports me, but I don't feel it right now. I just don't, and I'm just not motivated. So, but I'll get more into detail about that on I'm gonna have a special video. I'm gonna call it basically basically a voluntary you know, shutdown. You know, I'm gonna shut down the channel for a while. Hopefully, you know, I'm back before the NBA Finals, because I like doing a little preview for the NBA Finals. So there won't be no blog this Saturday, which is normal. There won't be no blog till further notice. I won't be doing any video game videos at all. I won't be doing nothing on the whole channel. Is going to be shut down. So I'll explain more about it in my personal video. But everybody that's here, I want to say thank you. People that have supported me, still support me, I thank you. It's just not, please, it's not a personal thing against you. It's just that I need, it's more with myself. There's a lot of things going on with me. I've just been dealing with some things. I won't get too personal about it, you know, but it's just, you know, I just need a break. I need to get my mind together. I need to start putting things together in my life to get happier, and maybe I'll be motivated to do this again. But this has been a joy. If this happens to be the very, very last time I do this, it was a joy. Like I said, I made it to 104 episodes, which I didn't think I would. You know, other reasons why I didn't think I would. So, and I love doing this. I love playing my video games. But right now, I just think I need to focus on more important things in my life. And that's what I'm going to do. So that's why I'm going to take a step back for a while. But I'll explain more in my personal video today. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Hopefully this ain't the last time. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. Enjoy sports, the period. A little other than the NBA playoffs, a little slow. It did show playoffs started as well. Hockey fans, so that started last night. Baseball season's in full swing. You know, and you know, the last few years I haven't been on around this time anyway, for whatever reason. But this is my own personal step back. But like I said, thank you guys again. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. Maybe I'll come back, even if it's not a blog, just like I was doing when I was out before. I would come do a short video, just give you my thoughts on things. And I thank you guys so much. And also the open book with Troy West, I'll be doing a video on that soon too. And I might get more in that video. But this video I'm gonna do just gonna be more of a thank you video, or just explaining things more. Thanks so much. I'm Troy West saying thank you. I swear it's not you guys. I just need to take this time off. And I appreciate all the support from here, from everybody from the beginning when I only had 5 subscribers, 10 subscribers. Interacting with people from, and that's the thing that hurts. Like, you know, I know it's people that I know that's not support me like I think they should, or that I thought they would. I had people from Europe supporting me more than people that I know. So that stuff hurts, and it messes with my motivation, and it's had been for a while, but I never really got into detail about it. But I thank anybody that supported me, period. And hopefully I'll see you sooner than later. Until then, peace and love, everyone, and talk to you next time.